Most modern readers picture Dracula as an ancient fairy tale, but in 1897, it was a high-tech thriller. This is a story built on telegrams, phonographs, and cutting-edge logistics. Jonathan Harker isn't a classic warrior. He's a legal clerk, a man who represents the rigid, professional infrastructure of the Victorian world. He captures his reality through administrative technology, using Pitman shorthand and date-stamped journals to categorize every detail of his travel. To Harker, these logs and lists are a form of protection. He believes that as long as he remains rational and professional, his world will remain orderly and safe. He is setting out as the ultimate administrator, certain that his data can contain any situation. But he is traveling toward a gap in the map, where his professional toolkit is about to be tested against something it cannot define. Harker follows an accurate railway journey. He departs London, gliding through Munich, Vienna, and Budapest, riding the height of 19th century transportation. But as he pushes into the Carpathian Mountains toward Bistritz, the physical infrastructure fails. The trains run late, the reliable tracks end. At the border, the local population tries to stop him. A woman falls on her knees, pleading with him not to proceed and warning of supernatural dangers he has no word for. Harker records her distress with polite detachment, noting it as a curious example of local superstition. In his briefcase, he carries a world of law and logic. To him, her terror is merely a sign of ignorance. Every mile Harker travels away from London mirrors a descent. He is physically and mentally crossing into a reality he is completely unequipped to survive. The modern world ends at the Borgo Pass. Harker must leave the steam engine behind for a horse-drawn carriage in the dead of night. He is traveling on the eve of St. George's Day, a date folklore marks as a pagan threshold where the dead walk and supernatural power reaches its peak. He records these legends in his journal like an observer at a museum, never suspecting that he has become the subject of the story. His meticulous documentation becomes a record of his own isolation. He is transcribing the rules of a trap while actively stepping into it. Harker arrives at a fortress that is geographically and temporally severed from the 19th century. The paved British roads are replaced by ancient, treacherous pathways and narrow stone stairs that seem to lead away from the modern world entirely. The structure is militaristic and isolated. It is an architecture designed for a violent medieval past, leaving a London clerk completely out of place. This castle functions as a temporal quarantine. Inside these walls, the modern world doesn't just stop, it is rendered irrelevant. It is here that Harker's objective journal style fails him. He encounters 3 women who defy every category of Victorian life. They are predatory, aggressive, and explicitly sensual. They represent an inversion of everything Harker considers proper, leaving him simultaneously repelled and paralyzed by fear. Then comes the moment logic cannot process. Dracula brings a child in a bag to feed his brides, a scene Harker is forced to witness and somehow describe. The Count's physical biology defies scientific classification. Stoker gives him pointed ears, a sharp nose, and hair growing on the palms of his hands, markers of a creature that exists outside the human family tree. Harker's rational shorthand has changed. It is no longer a tool of mastery. It is now a helpless record of a man losing his grip on sanity. Harker cowers as wolves howl outside, but Dracula calls them children of the night and listens to their cries as if they were beautiful music. The vampire finds harmony where the modern man finds only terror. Stoker uses these opening chapters to systematically strip away the arrogance of his time. He shows that modern knowledge has severe, literal boundaries. The very people Harker dismissed as backward and uneducated turn out to be the only ones with a functional map of reality. The fangs and the blood are terrifying, but the deeper horror is watching a cutting-edge Victorian mind realize that its shorthand and its railway tickets are no shield against the ancient night.